You missed this in Forrest Gump. When Forrest is jogging across America, he has a very special stand-in. The film used Tom Hanks' brother Jim Hanks for these scenes, since only Jim could truly imitate Forrest's strange, stiff style of running. Did you spot this in Interstellar? During the docking scene, Cooper tries to push his head in the opposite direction of the spin, but Brand lets her head go in the direction of the spin. Just like what would happen in real life, this leads to her blacking out, which shows that he's the more experienced of the two. You missed this in The Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring. You definitely remember this shot from Bilbo's 11th birthday party of one of the Proudfoots with his feet in the air. But did you know that it's actually a direct reference to this shot from the 1978 animated adaptation of The Lord of the Rings? You missed this in Titanic. As the unsinkable vessel starts to take on water, an older couple is shown in bed together, who have accepted their fate and will go down with the ship. They're based on a real-life Isidore and Ida Strauss, who were the co-owners of the department store Macy's. When Isidore passed up a spot on a lifeboat due to there still being women and children who needed to escape, his wife Ida refused to leave his side. She told her husband, "We've lived together for many years. Where you go, I go," and the two were last seen walking away together arm in arm. You missed this in Spirited Away. The car that the Chihiro family drives is based on a real car, the mid-1990s version of the Audi A4, and the production team wanted to make sure that it was as accurate as possible, so they actually got a real one and drove it around to record sound effects for the film. You missed this in John Wick Chapter 3. When John Wick finds himself in a museum, he mixes parts of various likely non-functional Colt and Remington revolvers to make a new working Franken revolver. This is actually a direct reference to another famous gunslinging movie. In The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, the character Tuco also combines the parts of several revolvers together in a gunsmith shop to make his own custom revolver. You missed this in The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. For the scene where King Theoden of Rohan de-ages, the special effects team worked on some truly powerful movie magic. The actor was put in 4 different sets of makeup, from oldest cursed version to the youngest fully cured Theoden. He then proceeded to act out the same scene 4 times, and the footage of each was morphed together to create the final transition. You missed this in The Shawshank Redemption. Near the end of the movie, there's a montage of Red going to multiple parole hearings, and in each one, his criminal file is stamped "Rejected." But take a closer look at the file. Not only do we finally learn that the character's full real name is Ellis Boyd Redding, but there's something very special about that photo in his record. The picture used for a younger version of the character is actually the actor Morgan Freeman's real-life son, Alfonso. You missed this in Spider-Man: Far From Home. In the scene where Mysterio remembers Tony Stark giving his presentation on binarily augmented retroframing, or BARF, you can hear the crowd laughing at the ridiculousness of the new technology's name. However, if you go back and look at the original scene in Captain America: Civil War, it becomes clear that there was no laughter in this moment, meaning that Mysterio is misremembering the moment as being far more embarrassing for Tony Stark than it actually was. You missed this in Joker. You can spot this one if you read very fast, but it's easier if you pause the scene. Then you can see that Arthur Fleck's joke book contains a story about a dead body that went unnoticed on the sidewalk, with people stepping over them. Later, when Joker is a guest on the Murray Franklin Show, he references this exact same story. You missed this in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. When the young Indiana Jones falls into a rail car with a lion and uses a whip, he accidentally hits himself, cutting his chin. The scene was written to explain the actual scar that Harrison Ford has that we can see on the older Indiana Jones.